It is the 7th of July, 2016. Meteorologist Robert Spetty here with you. We, of course, are tracking our super typhoon. This is at the violent intensity. According to the Japan Meteorological Agency, super typhoon is a designation from China in the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. Both of those words basically scream how potent this storm system is. Take a look at the visible satellite imagery. Clear and defined eye. Actually, a pinhole eye earlier on today, but it went through an eye wall replacement cycle where the inner eye wall kind of gave way, the outer eye wall took over, and now you have this storm system. Now some of the outer rain bands already coming on shore there across eastern Taiwan. But one thing I do want to take away before I get into the forecast from the satellite picture is look how annular this storm system is. It has kind of has that ring shape around it. It's absolutely circular, almost like a buzz saw. That's keeping dry air from flowing into this from all angles. So it's maintaining its intensity, moving over some very warm sea surface temperatures. So right now, according to the Japan Meteorological Agency, JTWC actually has the intensity higher, 115, gusting to 165 knots. Pressure now down to 900 hectopascals. Anytime you get down to the 9th century mark on these storm systems, that is just absolutely intense and impressive. And it shows you, even here on the infrared imagery, how strong our storm is here. And even over towards the southern islands of Japan, Okinawa, during the morning hours, some of those outer rain bands, upwards of 70 km/h winds reported around 5 a.m. Ishigaki, Miyako-jima, you've been seeing some gusty winds. Winds continuing to creep up into the 70 to 80 km/h range along coastal Taiwan, and that will continue to climb. I do want to know, I mentioned that those gusty winds over towards Okinawa and the southern Japanese islands, that's a second area of convection that's been blowing up and really impacting those of you off in Japan. It's separate from our storm, but kind of interconnected as well. And even down towards the south, these monsoonal showers, not as heavy as we anticipated, but still bringing an abundance of rain out there across the Philippines just due to the inflow into this monster. Here on the afternoon hours, we're getting our first good look at the radar imagery peering through the clouds. These outer rain bands right in here about to come on shore when I'm making this update right around 3 p.m. Taiwan Standard Time. These ones are packing tropical storm strength winds, but they're also packing heavy rains and, yes, the threat of tornadoes. During Solar, we had tornadoes on the west coast, just these outer rain bands that come on shore. Often you get them fast moving, they're rain wrapped, but the big problem with these is really they're whipped up by friction from coming up from the water, hitting the mountains, and some of these cells in these outer rain bands start to rotate. They become very convective and definitely very dangerous. But it's that ring in the center of circulation that is holding our winds well over 300 kilometers per hour. That's the dangerous stuff we're talking about here, and it's why you have to pay attention to where that center ring is going, because wherever that makes landfall, yes, away from the center, especially on the northern edge of this, very dangerous, but wherever that is going, just towards the north of that circulation, which is likely going to be around Hualien City, just towards the south there, that's where you're going to be seeing the worst storm surge, damaging winds, waves 9 meters high potentially, and then into the mountain ranges just north. That's where we're looking at that biggest flood threat out here as well, and definitely just north of that center line. And that's what we're going to be looking at. Actually, let's take a look at the Meteor app here and just track our storm system as it comes on shore here. And I'll give you kind of an idea of the time through the overnight hours, Thursday night into Friday morning. Heaviest rainfall really coming down throughout the day on Friday. The highest of the winds on the eastern seaboard right around sunrise as that eye wall comes across. But this wind field, at least the tropical storm strength winds and at least the damaging winds actually, is going to encompass the entire island. Much like Solar did in 2015, we saw damage down here towards the southwest with those winds coming in off the Taiwan Strait and also over towards Taipei, Yilan City, all seeing some sort of damage. And just to kind of give you an idea of the field we're talking about here, let's start with Taitung all of Taiwan here. Yeah, there we go. Taitung down here towards the south. That's where it looks like you're going to be just south of the center of circulation. Chengong, actually a little bit further towards the north, that's where videographer James Reynolds is today watching the storm. On the coastal mountains, that's probably going to take the brunt of the storm, also towards Hualien, a little bit farther towards the west. But what I want to key from this is look at the mountain ranges on this map, and this really kind of gives you a perspective. These mountains off here go up to about 3,000 meters, and when we're talking about that, and we're talking about cloud cover coming in, that just slams these mountains. It squeezes it out like a sponge, and we see significant rain totals. We have seen that in the past. We've seen rain totals easily topping 1,000 millimeters, and that's right, it's still there, guys. We could definitely see models are picking up 250 to 500 millimeters. Just from personal experience, I say well over 500 millimeters in some of those steeper elevations that just really bring in these totals just because of the mountain peaks, and you're combining it with a typhoon. So quite serious situation. A lot of those rivers are going to be flooding with this. And then eventually that is going to make its way further towards the west, impact eastern China. We'll get to that the next couple of days. First, let's talk about Taiwan, because this is going to be a major threat as we go ahead through Thursday night and Friday morning, making landfall early Friday morning. All right, guys, stay safe out there. Thanks for watching.